He shows them no remorse, no mercy. Aidan O'Brien wins the Derby again. And now it's victory for another key member of the Ballydoyle team. Wayne Lorden gets his chance to shine. So often Aidan O'Brien has given these key riders who make up part of his Ballydoyle team victory in the biggest race of all. And now Wayne Lorden wins the Derby on Lambourn. It's another for Aidan, another for Ireland. And it was a relentless display of galloping from this son of the Derby winner, Australia. In second is Lazy Griff for Charlie Johnston and Midland Park. What a thrill for the Chestervars runner-up. The Chestervars 1 and 2, finishing 1 and 2 in the Derby. And Tennessee Stud has snaked up the inside for Joseph O'Brien to finish third ahead of a massive run right down the outside from the French supplementary entry New Ground and Stanhope Gardens, who I think has just been done out of fourth in the shadow of the post. Tornado Alert was in fifth for Saeed Bin Surah, but Lambourn it is that wins the Derby.
All the way, Catch Me If You Can. The front two up all the way. Plenty of horses were strung out. There was horses keen in behind, New Ground being one of them. He's run a marvellous race to finish fourth. Tennessee Stud came off the bridle early, but he finished with great stamina. But Lazy Griff and Wayne Lorden on this guy in front. Lambourn, well named by a Derby winner whose father won a Derby. There was only two Derby winners represented in this race. One of them has taken it home.
And a real dominant display of stamina as much as anything else, wasn't it? Because he was driven in the early part of race to get to the lead, and he just kept on dabbing on the accelerator once they turned into the straight and made sure it was a good, honest test. He was in the right place and he kept on thriving through it, and he's a very, very strong stayer and very classy horse.
11 Derbies for Aidan O'Brien. Well, I think the real story of this race, Jane Mangan, is Wayne Lorden, because the Irish Derby 2 years ago, he was down and he was very, very nearly out. He
was out for the best part of a year. Wayne has been a part of the Coolmore team a lot longer than he's even been in Ballydoyle, because of course he was first jockey to David Watchman, riding top horses such as Legatissimo, and again back in those days. But now he's obviously an integral part, second jockey to Ballydoyle, riding key horses in work, and he has taken this opportunity with both hands. Yesterday would have hurt, no doubt, Whirl getting caught on the line in the Oaks by Minnie Hawk, but he made no mistake today. And you must say that this guy was very relaxed through the first half of this race. His ears were pricked, and Wayne's body language actually suggested he wanted to go faster.
Yeah, he was wanting to make it a proper test, wasn't he? And the horse conserves. He's saving as much for himself as he can, really, but he's given honestly all the way up the straight, and he looked the winner from a good way out, and he wasn't stopping, was he? He kept on rolling on. It's a Chestervars 1-2. Both the middle distance classics this week have gone to Chester last time out winners.
It was a display of remarkable galloping, really, from this horse, as you said, Jane, by Australia. So abundant stamina. Australia himself out of Ouija board.
The mother was second, Gossamer Wings, second in Queen Mary. So that Australia Galileo's dominance when it comes to stamina over speedy mares always wins through. And obviously it's a recipe that's been mixed by Coolmore many times, but when it comes to the Derby, that's the race they want to win, and this will be sweet.
And you'd have to think that he's going to go on to the St. Ledger at Doncaster with a very strong chance, because the extra quarter mile isn't going to bother him, judged on that, is it?
Tip your hat to Charlie Johnston for having a crack at this race with not one but two challenges, and Lazy Griff wasn't considered by many, but yes, of course he's upheld that Chestervars for me. He's run a massive race.
Huge race, absolutely massive run, and syndicate-owned horse as well, finishing in second spot in a Derby. That'll give him a huge amount of people a massive thrill, and he has run an excellent race, and it was great to see him hanging on for second, because there was a few hot on his heels at the line, but he did manage to stay on into that position.
And so often Joseph O'Brien runs horses in big races and they are completely unconsidered by the market, and they always run well. We saw it yesterday in the Oaks, finished fourth and looked like finishing second or third. Tennessee Stud snaked his way up the inside rail to finish third.
And he might be another horse for Donny as well. He lacked a bit of tactical speed here, but he's come home with a great flourish. Obviously we'll get through the review of the race eventually and we'll see the disappointing horses of the race. Delacroix was never going, and he was way too far out of his ground for Ryan to be comfortable where he was. Meanwhile, this guy uncontested lead, Chris, and not going crazy.
No, he wasn't. I mean, as you said right at the start, he was almost, Wayne was wanting him to go a bit quicker. He was keeping up to his work to go the gallop that he wanted him to go.
Yeah, he obviously has a great mind. And even the pictures there now, the mannerism of the horse. His dad is almost that lackluster as well. They have an unbelievable mind.
Stanhope Gardens has run with quite a lot of credit. I'd love to see his run through again. I don't think it was the clearest. He came there to have a chance, hung a little down the camber, and then just flattened out and was deprived of a place. I think he's shaped like a horse with quite a lot of talent.
He has, and clearly he was in much deeper than he'd been before. He had that form in the Autumn Stakes with Delacroix that suggested that he was a high-class horse, really. Jane mentioned beforehand that maybe he'd had a bit of an interrupted spring or something. You just kind of look at where he made his winning return and think it wasn't kind of an obvious place if they'd have had him with an easy run. So I wonder whether he might still progress through the season, Stanhope Gardens.
But look at the list of riders that Aidan O'Brien has given a derby to. Obviously his stable jockeys like Mick Kinnan and Ryan Moore and so on. But check out this list. Emmett McNamara, Shamie Heffernan, Pádraig Beggy. You know, it's now Wayne Lorden.
And every horse that he runs in the Derby, whether it's a Serpentine to a Sovereign in Ireland, they have a chance, and you underestimate them at your peril. This horse wasn't underestimated. All three horses came in here with legitimate chances. But when there was question marks about the stamina of some of his rivals, there's question marks about the mentality about some of his rivals, this guy was just bomb-proof. And Aidan looks after those who look after him, but I must say I was just really taken by how that horse professionally raced on his own for the entirety of the Epsom Derby. He did not see a rival.
And he was almost racing cold early, wasn't he?
When's the last time a horse bar Serpentine did that?
Well,
it's unusual.
Slip Anchor made all the running, didn't he? On softish ground under Steve Cawthon, brilliant ride. Did Tinoso nearly make all the running as well? No, but it happens relatively infrequently. It's just really remarkable just how much energy he was able to conserve, having been pumped out of the starting gate. Like, riders saying, please go and grab hold of the bridle and set this race alight, and the horse is just dossing away out front.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go back to a point that it's a really important fact for anybody who's thinking what Lambourn's credentials are now, and Chris, you've already mentioned the St. Leger. When two horses were represented by former Derby winners in the Derby, it is a worry, and they have come to the fore. This is meant to be the stallion-making race, and Australia gets his first Derby winner. See the stars at a number of representatives. Galileo is gone. You have to start thinking what the future looks like, and just making the point that it is a massive asset to have that on your side.
He's obviously the key to him winning in the manner that he won was how much he saved in the early part of the race. Because you don't win a derby necessarily in the first half. You can definitely lose one, can't you? And the fact that he is just sort of so economical and relaxed.
Was extremely keen. Demises couldn't get in.
Yeah,
and there was a bit of a barging match. He was on the flank,
wasn't he, and had little chance from where he was. And if there's hard luck stories, I think that's what it is. It's that they didn't allow themselves, because it's such a stiff climb from the start point to the top of the hill that if you're not relaxed, you're not going to finish. The winner was he was so relaxed. He's obviously a very, very laid-back horse, the winner.
Sea Scout was keen. He sat second. Midak came with his challenge. He was faded. Tuscan Hills, he followed them into the straight, wasn't good enough.
The Dante form took one hell of a beating here, didn't it? Horrible the way that worked out. Demises didn't get home at all. Nightwalker never got into it. Pride of Arras, I barely noticed all the way around.
He was very keen early on, and he got a bump.
I don't think he beat anything, did he, in the end?
Stanhope Gardens was the quickest horse in the field at some stage of the race. He hit 39.8 miles per hour in the second last furlong, but that was when the race was over.
And you know
what? There was 19 runners. There wasn't too many of them mattered.
No.
Did Charlie Johnson's other runner finish 6th? Green Storm, I think he did. That's a massive run. And Nighttime Dancer stayed on from miles back to finish 7th.
As you said he would.
Well, I thought he'd get in
Take
the top
the
5
win,
or 6.
take the win.
There is Lambourn, the winner, under Wayne Lorden. You'll be back with us in a few moments' time for more reaction on the Betfred Derby of 2025.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.